Michael hadn't been on a date in 7 years. His daughter Emma was 12 now, and she was his whole world. After his wife passed, he'd thrown himself into being both mom and dad. The PDA meetings, the braided hairstyles, the late night talks about boys and friendship drama. He was content with that life. But his sister Karen wouldn't let it go. She'd been pestering him for months about this blind date. Just one dinner, Mike, she'd said over the phone last Tuesday. She's lovely, and you need to remember you're still alive. He'd finally agreed just to get Karen off his back. Now here he was standing outside Romano's Italian restaurant straightening his collar for the third time. The reservation was for 7. He checked his watch. 6:58. Michael took a breath and walked inside. The hostess smiled warmly. "Reservation for 2 under Bennett," he said. "Right this way, sir." She led him to a corner table by the window. The city lights were just starting to flicker on outside. He sat down and ordered a glass of water. His hands were actually shaking a little. 7 o'clock came and went. 7:15. Michael felt the familiar sting of rejection creeping in. Maybe this was a sign. Maybe he should just pay for his water and leave. Then at 7:20 the door opened. A woman walked in and Michael's breath caught. She was beautiful, yes, but there was something else. The way she carried herself. Confident but with a hint of nervousness in her eyes as she scanned the room. She was wearing a simple cream colored dress. Her blonde hair was pulled back loosely. When her eyes met his, there was a flicker of recognition. Not like they'd met before, but like they both knew what it felt like to be scared. She walked over. "Michael," she said. It wasn't a question. "Yes." He stood up awkwardly, almost knocking over his water. "You must be Sarah." "I am." She smiled and sat down. "I'm so sorry I'm late. Board meeting ran over, and then traffic was a nightmare." "Board meeting," he repeated. She laughed softly. "I should probably mention I'm the CEO of Horizon Tech. Your sister didn't tell you." Michael felt his stomach drop. No, she definitely left that part out. Sarah studied his face. "Does that bother you?" He thought about it honestly. "I don't know yet," he said. "I'm a high school history teacher. I spend my days talking about the Roman Empire to teenagers who'd rather be on their phones." "That sounds wonderful, actually," Sarah said. "History was my favorite subject." The waiter came and they ordered wine, white for both of them. As they waited, Sarah folded her hands on the table. "Can I be honest with you, Michael? Please. I almost didn't come tonight. I've been on 12 blind dates in the past 2 years. Every single one of them either wanted something from me or couldn't handle what I do for a living. I'm tired of performing. I just want to be Sarah." Michael felt something shift in his chest. "I almost didn't come either," he admitted. "My wife died 7 years ago. Ovarian cancer. I have a daughter, Emma. She's 12 and she's everything to me. I haven't dated because honestly I didn't think I'd ever feel ready." Sarah's eyes softened. "I'm so sorry." "Thank you." They sat in silence for a moment, not uncomfortable. Just 2 people letting the weight of honesty settle between them. "So why did you come tonight?" Sarah asked. "My sister wouldn't stop nagging me," Michael laughed. "And maybe a small part of me was curious what it would feel like to be just Michael again. Not dad, not widower. Just me." "I understand that," Sarah said. "I built my company from nothing. Started in my garage with 2 programmers and a dream. Now we have 400 employees, and I'm on business magazines and conference stages. But sometimes I miss being the person who could grab coffee without someone wanting to pitch me an idea." The wine arrived. They raised their glasses. "To being just ourselves for one evening," Michael said. "I'll drink to that," Sarah smiled. The dinner unfolded like a slow dance. They talked about everything. Sarah told him about growing up in a small town in Ohio, how her father worked at a factory and her mother cleaned houses, how she'd gotten a scholarship to MIT and never looked back. Michael shared stories about Emma, the time she tried to bake him a birthday cake and set off the smoke alarm, how she still slept with the stuffed elephant her mother gave her. "You're a good father," Sarah said quietly. "I can hear it in the way you talk about her." "I'm trying," Michael said. "Some days I wonder if I'm enough." "You are." Sarah reached across the table. Her hand stopped just short of his. "The fact that you worry about it means you are." Michael looked at her hand there on the white tablecloth. Then slowly he reached out and took it. Her fingers were warm. "I have a confession," Sarah said. "What's that?" "I looked you up online before coming tonight. I found your school website. You won Teacher of the Year 3 times. Michael felt his cheeks flush. "That's embarrassing." "No, it's impressive. You make a difference in people's lives every single day. I chase profit margins and market shares. You inspire young minds. That matters. So does creating jobs and innovation," Michael countered. "You employ 400 people. That's 400 families who can pay their bills because of what you built." Sarah's eyes got a little glassy. "No one's ever said that to me before." The waiter brought their entrees. Pasta for him, chicken piccata for her. They ate slowly, trading bites and stories. Michael told her about the time he chaperoned the 8th grade dance and had to break up a fight over a girl. Sarah told him about presenting to the board in Tokyo and accidentally insulting everyone because she didn't understand the cultural protocols. The laughter came easily, natural. By the time dessert arrived, tiramisu, they were sharing. Michael realized something. He felt lighter than he had in years. "Can I ask you something?" Sarah said. "Of course. Do you ever feel guilty?" "About what?" "Moving forward after loss." Michael set down his fork. "Every day," he said. "Emma asks me sometimes if I think her mom would be proud of us. I tell her yes, but the truth is I wonder if I'm doing any of it right, if I'm honoring her memory or just surviving." Sarah nodded slowly. "My mother died 2 years ago. Heart attack. She never got to see what the company became. I used to call her every Sunday. Now Sundays are the hardest day of the week." "I'm sorry," Michael said. "Me too." They finished the tiramisu in comfortable silence. When the check came, Michael reached for it. "Please let me," Sarah said. "We can split it." "Michael, I make 7 figures a year. Let me buy you dinner." He hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, but next time I'm paying." Sarah's face lit up. "Next time. If you want there to be a next time," Michael said. "I do," Sarah said. "I really do." They walked out into the cool evening air. The city was alive around them. People rushing past, car horns, honking. Somewhere music drifting from an open bar. "I have a crazy idea," Sarah said. "Tell me." "There's a bookstore 2 blocks from here. It stays open until 11. Want to walk with me?" Michael smiled. "I'd love that." They walked slowly side by side. Not quite touching, but close enough that their arms brushed occasionally. The bookstore was warm and cluttered. Old hardcovers stacked on tables. The smell of coffee and paper. Sarah led him to the history section. "Show me your favorite," she said. Michael scanned the shelves and pulled out a worn copy of a book about World War II. "This one changed my life when I was 16. Made me want to teach." Sarah took it gently. "Will you tell me about it?" So he did, standing there in the narrow aisle between shelves. He told her about the stories that moved him, the ordinary people who did extraordinary things. Sarah listened like every word mattered. When he finished, she pulled a book from another shelf. "My turn." It was about entrepreneurs and innovation. She told him about the chapter that inspired her to start her company, about believing in something when everyone else thought you were crazy. Michael watched her face light up as she spoke. This brilliant, accomplished woman who was choosing to spend her Friday night in a bookstore with a high school teacher. They bought their books, walked back out into the night. "I should probably get home," Michael said. "Emma's at a sleepover, but I like to be there when she calls to say goodnight." "That's sweet," Sarah said. They stood on the corner. Neither wanted to say goodbye. "Thank you for tonight," Michael said. "Thank you for giving me a chance. Even after finding out I'm terribly ordinary compared to you." "You're not ordinary, Michael," Sarah said firmly. "You're extraordinary, and I'd really like to see you again." "Tomorrow," Michael said. "Emma's sleepover ends at noon. Maybe you'd like to meet us for lunch. Nothing fancy, just burgers and fries." Sarah's smile was radiant. "I would love that." Michael leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. Their kiss was gentle, tentative, full of possibility. When they pulled apart, Sarah was blushing. "I'll see you tomorrow," she whispered. Tomorrow, Michael agreed. He watched her hail a cab. She waved from the window as it pulled away. Michael stood there for a long moment, his book tucked under his arm, his heart feeling fuller than it had in years. He pulled out his phone and texted Karen. "You were right. Thank you." 3 dots appeared immediately. Then, "I'm always right, little brother. Tell me everything tomorrow." Michael laughed and started walking toward the subway. The city felt different tonight, full of promise, full of light. He thought about Emma, about how he'd tell her he met someone nice, someone who made him laugh, someone who saw him not as a widower or just a dad, but as Michael, a man who still had love to give, who still had stories to share, who was ready finally to let someone in again. And as he descended into the subway station, Michael smiled. Because sometimes the best things in life come when you least expect them. When you say yes even though you're scared. When you take a chance on a blind date and find something real, something worth holding on to. If this story touched your heart, please hit the like button and share it with someone who needs a reminder that it's never too late for new beginnings. Subscribe for more heartwarming stories and leave a comment telling us about a time when taking a chance changed your life.